Have you ever wondered who you would be if your life had gone in a different direction? How would you orchestrate your life if every decision and every consequence was within your control? In the game CV, players lead a character through their entire life, strategically using cards to build their history step by step, choosing their friends, relationships, jobs, and activities, building their unique life story, their curriculum vitae. Let's take a look at how it works. In this example, we'll set up a 4-player game of CV. First, shuffle each of the 5 different decks of cards and place the early adulthood, middle age, and old age decks onto their respective locations on the board. Next, reveal the first 5 cards from the early adulthood deck and place them face up onto the track on the board. Deal 1 card from the life goal deck to each player, then reveal a number of additional goals equal to the number of players minus 1 face up on the board. Then, deal 3 childhood cards to each player. Players pick one of these 3 cards to keep, and then pass the other 2 to the player on their left. They then repeat this process to select the second and third childhood cards that they keep. Once each player has 3 childhood cards and a life goal card, the game begins. On a player's turn, they perform the following actions. First, the player rolls all the dice that they have available. Players start with 4 dice, but certain cards may allow them to roll even more. The player can re-roll any number of their dice up to 2 times, except for dice with the bad luck symbol, which are frozen and cannot be re-rolled that turn. Next, the player may purchase 1 or 2 cards from the track on the board by spending any combination of the dice they rolled and tokens that they may have in their possession that match the symbols on the card's cost. The player may also use event cards from their hand and the dice that they rolled to generate luck. For each 3 good luck symbols that the player has available, they may take any card from the track without paying the normal cost. The player adds any event cards that they purchased on their turn to their hand, and adds the others to their CV, placing the new card on top of any cards that they already have of that type. Possession and work cards must always go on top of their respective stacks, but health, relationship, and knowledge cards may be placed at any level within their stacks. The card on top of a stack is active and provides the effect written on it. The rest of the cards in a stack below the active card do not. But life is not all rainbows and lollipops, because for every 3 bad luck symbols that the player has generated on their turn, they suffer misfortune and must discard 1 active card from their CV. To conclude their turn, the player discards any previous tokens that they had in their possession, and then receives a number of new tokens matching the symbols shown on the effect area of their CV's active cards. The leftmost card is then discarded from the track, and then the player moves all cards on the track to the left to fill any empty spaces, and then deals out new cards from the appropriate deck to fill any empty spaces on the right end of the track. At first, these cards will come from the young adulthood deck, but when that deck runs out, then the middle age deck is used, and then finally the old age deck. When the number of cards remaining in the old age deck is fewer than the number of players, the game ends. Players then add up their points based on the number of relationship, health, and knowledge cards that they own, any possession cards that they possess, their personal life goal cards, and any public life goals in play. The player with the greatest sum total of points is the winner! And that's how you play CV. So, how will you get ahead? New relationships? A stable of new skills? Landing that dream job? Anything is possible in the world of CV.